Yeah, it's just not been as consistent as I wanted it to be, and to me, just to be, the consistent get off and striking and knockback and to play with that kind of confidence to me is what I really want to see, and so it's been not consistent, and that's where I feel like that it's been at times what you want, but not what you want all the time. And so to me, we got to do a better job of during our drill time and during our individual time and during our, technique emphasis and once again, to continue to go against our O-line more, which helps them, helps us, are sharper than each other. And because that to me is a part of what creates the TFLs and the takeaways is the knockback you get by your D-line on the offensive line and then, disrupting the offensive play and forcing fumbles by the quarterback or the running backs, So, yeah, we just got to continue to find ways to get our guys. Like I said, I don't think it's not lack of effort. They're playing hard, And so if they weren't playing hard, I'd call them out, call it what it was, So, but I do feel like that, really to me, it's more about just, confidence in technique, confidence in what we're doing schematically, and just continue to work on it. You just the principle, man, just don't grow weary of just doing things the right way. You just keep going after those. This is the standard, and we keep chasing after that standard every single day. We don't let up. You may make modifications to how you do it, but you don't, alter, the ultimate goal, which is, man, to be a physical football team that creates takeaways.
And welcome to Believing Clemson Football. I'm Will Vandervoort, as producer extraordinaire Alex Dodd, as we just heard from Clemson defense coordinator Tom Allen. He wasn't, I won't say in the best of moods today talking to the media. He wasn't mad at the media or anything. I'm just talking about his football team, his defensive football team, Alex. As you can see there, he, basically called out his defensive line. He was asked, hey, what are your thoughts on the defensive line, how they played? And he basically said they've been inconsistent, that they can play better, that there's a lot of things they can do better. So it was interesting to hear that. Talked about a whole bunch of other things involving his defense today. He's not happy that they have not been able to build any depth at safety or linebacker. And he's like, those guys got to get better. They hope in the bye week they can find some depth at those positions. But right now, Alex, when you look at this offensive line and defensive line, as the headline says, Clemson got whipped by the Mustangs, and the O-line and D-line played awful, and they did. If you go back and watch that game, they did.
Yeah, it was complete and utter domination in the trenches. Let's call it what it is. SMU was able to run up for 151 yards with the quarterback with one leg, and Clemson ran for 35 yards on 30 carries. And that alone really tells the whole story of the football game. Mm-hmm. That SMU got push up front, and their defensive line plugged holes, and Clemson couldn't do either.
Yeah.
That was the story of the game. Backup quarterback, starting quarterback, man, it didn't matter if Trevor Lawrence played in this game. Clemson wasn't going to win the game because they got dominated up front on both sides of the football.
They did. As Dabo said yesterday when he spoke to the media, that they didn't deserve to win the game, and SMU did. And what he means by that is exactly what we're talking about today. It's in the trenches. Clemson just was horrible in the trenches. And when you don't play well in the trenches, you're going to lose. So appreciate you guys joining us. We're going to talk about that and then a number of other things today, as we got a lot going on. At
least other sports on campus are getting going,
Yeah, some others, and the soccer team got a big win the other night, and they're now 4-1-1 in the ACC. Got a big match as we're speaking against UNC Wilmington. So there's some good things to talk about, but
not about football.
But this show's about football, and so we're going to talk about the bad. By the way, Clemson is 3-4 for the first time since 2008. Yeah, a lot of things that haven't happened in a long time are happening right now at Clemson, and it's not good for Clemson football. But we appreciate you guys joining us. Please comment. We've already got one in there. A couple more, I think, are coming in right now as well. So please shoot us some comments, if you will, and me and Alex will definitely take those comments, and we'll put them on the air as long as they're clean. If they're not clean, I can't put it on there. So keep it clean, and, we'll love the comment and the banter. We're all about it. Ask some questions. Be happy to ask you in this open date, the second open date for the Tigers this week. But before we do that, let's get to our our sponsors, Alex, if you will. We're sponsored by the Clemson Insider, the most complete coverage of Clemson athletics and recruiting. Go on over to the ClemsonInsider.com now. We got all kinds of football stories, all kinds of things we're writing about, what's wrong with the program, where do they need to go. You go to the message board, a lot of conversations going on there as far as what the Tigers need to do, what Dabo Swinney needs to do moving forward. We're going to talk a little bit about that today as well. That's what we do on here. We get to do that. Dabo can't talk to us about it. He told us last night, Alex, he isn't going to talk about – he told one of the reporters last night, I'm not worried about coaching changes. I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about just Monday's practice. But we can think about it, and we can talk about it. And, of course, you can go over to ClemsonInsider.com and think about that and talk about it right now on the message boards as well. So go on over to ClemsonInsider.com. You can also find us on YouTube, which is where we're at right now doing this show, and also on Facebook at Clemson Insider and on X at Clemson Insider as well, and even on Instagram. We put pictures and stuff up there and videos, and you can go check that stuff out as well. As we got all kinds of things going on for you when it comes to that. Also, want to give a shout out to the all-new Smoke on the Water, which will be located at 64 Beacon Drive on Restaurant Row off of Pelham Road in Greenville, South Carolina. If you haven't noticed yet in that area, you should notice that you're about to get a Smoke on the Water. And so,
Yep.
It's going to open here in early November. I know the guys over there are anxiously and excited about getting it going. The all-new Smoke on the Water will feature the same famous smoked meats it had before: pulled pork, brisket, the beer butt chicken, and prime rib. By the way, I've had all those. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. There'll be some new things will appear in the menu as well. Also, its signature 5 barbecue sauces will be there to complement, not smother any of its smoked meats. Like before, the all-new Smoke on the Water will have Greenville's best happy hour, and it will feature live acoustic acts. Smoke on the Water, owned by Mike Schuler, was a staple in downtown Greenville for 18 years before being forced out of the previous location by its landlords. Right now, the all-new Smoke on the Water is available for catering, and it has its food truck. For more information, call 864-232-9091. Again, that's 864-232-9091. The all-new Smoke on the Water, 64 Beacon Drive on Restaurant Row off of Pelham Road. Again, that's 864-232-9091 for more information. That's 9091. All right, Alex.
If you start punching those numbers in your phone, eventually you'll get them.
Yes.
That's all we'll just say. Hey, I will say I'm going to be back in town, for the Furman game.
And we're going to go to Smoke
and
on the
it'll
Water.
be open. Maybe that Thursday night we'll head over to Smoke on the Water. Maybe we'll see, if some fans would like to come meet us over there or whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
See what happens. By the way, my face is extremely red for some reason. I don't know why.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm letting everybody know I'm okay. I don't know why my face is red. It's like
Did
a
you
beet.
spend time in the sun?
No, I think it's because we got something cooking in the oven, and I think I'm just hot. I don't know, but I feel great. So if anybody out there is worried about me stroking out, I'm not. I'm not going to stroke out.
If he does, we'll be the first to know because we'll see the signs. So that's call it what it is.
So I feel great. So it's just for some reason I just noticed my face looks like I'm sunburned, and I hadn't even been in the sun today. So it's kind of hilarious, if you will. Now I'm redder because I pointed it out to myself. So I'll go back to normal here in a little bit. But hey, if you guys want to talk about my red beet face, or Alex's beautiful beard that he's got going on there.
I'm wearing this hat because, Taste That. This is a Coors hat. We're not sponsored by Coors, but I think Clemson fans know that the only thing that's getting you through this football season, it might be the stuff that comes from the brewery in Golden, Colorado.
Alex texted me earlier. He says, I think we're going to have to have a beer to do this show.
Yeah, so I wore the hat. That's good enough.
I hope you guys are having a beer on both of us as you're watching the show tonight. We appreciate it. No, Alex, it's I did have somebody tell me, though, the other day that we need to bring Ashby Mixon back more because she at least makes the podcast look better. Because for those people out there that are not listening to us, we're also on YouTube, and you can watch us live on YouTube do the show. And so they said that we needed to have Ashby just to make it look better when we're doing the show. So
look at all the work that me and Will do to these beautiful backgrounds we got here. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
I know. Don't worry, it hurt my feelings too, buddy. Don't worry.
Okay, I know it's probably Phil It was probably Phil. I don't know who it was, but I'm guessing Phil.
So anyway, I can't tell you who it was, but anyway, nonetheless, both our feelings are hurt. Now I had to let you feel this pain I felt. I think we beautified this podcast. I mean, look at us,
Hey, here's the thing. Maybe if Clemson wins some more football games, we'll get prettier people on here. But until now, this is what you get.
You got an
get
ugly
ugly
football
on
team?
Saturday and you get ugly on Tuesday. That's what you get right now.
Anyway, we appreciate those that don't hear us and know that me and Alex do not have a face for television. So that's why we have a face for radio and podcasts. And we're better when we're just hearing us instead of seeing us. But hey, for those that are watching us live now, shoot us some comments. Like to get in and talk to you guys about that here in just a minute. All right, Alex, let's go ahead and start reviewing this game. Then we'll start off. Give me your thoughts on what you saw Saturday.
Man, I kind of already went into it. When you get dominated up front, it doesn't really matter what happens outside of that. I mean, when that happens, you're going to lose the football game. Now, Clemson had some chances to make a difference in the game, but they didn't play complimentary football. They played bad complimentary football again. Early in the game, Clemson's offense couldn't get moving, and the defense played pretty well. Late in the game, the defense looked horrible, and the offense was scoring, but it didn't matter because you couldn't get a stop.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody on Twitter likened it to, in a baseball game when you come out and score runs in your half of the inning, you need that shutdown inning when the other team comes up next, and Clemson never got the shutdown inning. They did once. They got the interception that gave them a chance and got them closer there in the fourth quarter, but too little, too late on the complimentary football.
Yes. Great point. Dabo pointed that out too. It's like, you get offense, and they started off the game. Offense can't get anything going. Defense did its job.
Which also, you expected the offense to start out slow. You're playing a new quarterback
but
on short
you gotta
notice.
do
You
better.
expected the offense to come out slow, but you figured once the offense got it going that's kind of the defense. The defense had to know going into the game Saturday that if Clemson wanted to win this football game, it's on them.
Right.
And they sure didn't play like it. That's the way it is.
They didn't. But in the first half, the offense had the ball 9 times, and they only scored 7 points. And Dabo talked about how that was an issue. And he was right. I mean, because your defense did play pretty good in the first half. Other than one busted play, you held them to 3 field goals. And, and one time they held them out after a turnover. They didn't score anything. You got a 3 and out, So your defense in the first half did its job, kept them in the game. In the second half, offense comes out firing, man. They're everywhere. And
they made adjustments. They opened up the playbook.
Yeah, and you saw them play better, even though the offensive line was horrible. And we're going to get into that in a second. I mean, horrible was the offensive line. I can't even state it enough how bad they were. They were bad just me watching it with their naked eye. They were even worse when I went back and watched it again. It was horrible. It was like, oh my God.
And it certainly doesn't
any worse as an offensive line.
I will say it certainly doesn't help when you have a player get carted out with a leg cast in a game, but it wasn't pretty before that either.
No, it was horrible. But anyway, they still were able to move the football. They did some things and got points on the board. But then I don't know what happened to defense. Defense couldn't get a stop. Couldn't get a stop to save their life. I mean, the only stop they got in the second half was a tip ball on an interception. Now, they did get the interception, and that's good. And you got the ball to your offense, and you got points out of it. But, other than that, you need to stop at the end of the game to get the ball back to Vizina and those guys. With 6 minutes to go, it's 29-24. You're right there in the game.
Well, you
had a chance.
You had a chance to get out of it, too, and you get a PI on a ball that was going to land in the middle of the field to nobody. It was 10 feet over a wide receiver's head. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just undisciplined move after undisciplined move by this defense. And it's not by inexperienced players. I mean, these are experienced players on this defense. It's not like you're rolling out, 11 freshmen and you're trying to figure it out, or 11 first year players on your team and you're trying to figure out. These are experienced guys.
Yeah.
And just the lack of instinct on a lot of plays, the bad angles on tackling. I saw a clip of the one SMU touchdown down the sideline. I think people were trying to say that it was maybe loaf tape from Khalil Barnes, which it could have looked like loaf tape. To me, it looked like he took a horrible angle and had no shot at the play and ran into his guys. What it looked like to me. But you shouldn't have a guy who's experienced as Khalil Barnes taking bad angles on a guy on the sideline. You have an extra defender over there that's your sideline, and you miss your angle as a safety. You just can't do that.
But also, I will. This is something Alan talked about today. Was, and I mentioned it earlier. Khalil Barnes played 72 snaps.
Yeah,
and he's like, I can't have Khalil Barnes playing 72 snaps.
Right.
I gotta. And so what happened? What he means by that is what you just talked about at the end of the game. You take a bad angle.
Yeah,
because you're tired. And so you just do things when you're tired, you don't think as good. Well, you don't react as well. And so not making excuses.
You make mistakes. When you're tired, you make mistakes.
And so that goes to the lack of depth that he was talking about. But you mentioned something earlier, though, that they didn't play up to their potential. And they haven't all season. And that brings us to the defensive line. Because once again, the defensive line, like, where did TJ Parker go? Well, I know I saw him on his butt a couple times as he got just manhandled. Have teams, okay, can Clemson adjust to notice that teams, like, there's a reason why TJ Parker continues to fall down the NFL draft rankings. You know why? Because he can't stop the run.
Yep.
He's horrible against the run. He can't
the edge. He can't break down on the edge and make a tackle. I mean, that's just what it is. He over pursues. He gets washed out. He gets off balance. And that's what Tom Allen talked about in that clip that we're watching. Is there's a lot of technique problems with this defensive line and with some of these linebackers.
Yeah. Just
technique problems. Just can't break down in space, can't make it. You know, it's not that they're in the wrong spot all the time, because I don't think they're in the wrong spot all the time. It's, you know, they just can't break down and make a tackle. This is a team that we were told in the offseason wanted to be the best tackling team in America, and they're certainly not that.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. And this kind of right here, the Real McCoy 864, totally agree with you. Parker and Woods are the most overhyped players in Clemson history. Give me more Lawson at defensive end. He's not really wrong there, Alex. I mean, they are overhyped this year. I mean, we just mentioned, you know, what have you done for me, TJ Parker? Well, besides getting, you know, he played better the last 2 weeks, but then against a team who is really good on offense and really skilled, he struggled. And he couldn't stop the run. He couldn't set the edge. That's why in the second half, what side did they run to? They didn't run to Will Helt's side. They were running to TJ Parker's side. Yeah. And they got 2 runs for over 65 yards. Why? Because he didn't set the edge, and they just ran right past him. Teams are doing that every week for the most part against him. Duke's going to attack him in 2 weeks. I'm telling you that right now. Besides Will Helt, though, everybody else, you know, and Jaheim Lawson has played great as well, but he's not a starter. But when I look at the starters, like DeMonte Capehart, where are you, dude? You know, I thought you were going to be better than that. This is your final chance. I haven't really seen you. Yep. You know, Stephon Green's come in and played
I've seen a lot more from Stephon Green than I have from DeMonte Capehart.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the theme with this defense. I mean, let's call it what it is. Your experienced players, your guys who you were leaning on, your veterans, so-called veterans in a group, are unreliable, and your newcomers are hungry and want to make plays. And you heard Tom Allen talk about that today too. I mean, really called out the players and their work ethic and said what kind of players he needs on his defense to be successful. And the descriptions he was given: hungry, care less about NIL than performance on the field and winning games. That doesn't describe the team he has right now. You see a team right now that looks like they're collecting paychecks. I mean, that's what a lot of that defense looks like right now, is that they're collecting paychecks and can care less about, you know, what happens on the field. That's how it looks sometimes. Now, there are other times where it looks like they try really hard and they just have bad technique. Exactly. So I'm not going to say it's all that, you know, none of these guys care or anything like that. I don't think it's all that.
No, and even Tom Allen said today it's not from lack of effort.
Yeah.
He mentioned that today when he talked about how inconsistent the defensive line has been. He says it's not from a lack of effort. And maybe it's not, but it's something because they're not playing well. Peter Woods, you know, he played really good the last couple of weeks too, but he really didn't play that great against the other day against SMU. I thought he would show up and be a little bit more demonstrative, if you will,
Yeah.
and cause some problems for SMU.
I thought he'd have a chip on his shoulder, maybe. That
Yes.
they're saying I can't do it against a good team. I thought that would be part of the equation on Saturday. And now, given being you both picked SMU in our pick'em, and had we known Cade Klubnik wasn't going to play, we both would have, clearly picked SMU to win the football game on last Tuesday.
But we thought that line was too high. Clemson at the time it was set at 8.5 at the time. That's before the Cade Klubnik news really started coming out. But yeah, we just at that time we didn't think it was, we didn't know what the situation was. But I thought the defense would come out and play better after giving up, 37 points against Syracuse, and then they go and give up 35 against this. I mean, the last two times fans have seen the defense in Death Valley, they've given up now a total of 72 points.
Well, dude, the fans hadn't seen Clemson win a football game in Death Valley in over a year.
Well, against the Power 5 team.
Yeah, against the Power 5 team.
Yeah, we need to. They are beating the lonely team, the Troy and those teams. But
you don't feel. I mean, you don't leave the game feel good about it when you beat.
No,
Troy.
no, those are games.
That's what I'm saying. It's when you're getting in the car disappointed for a year in a row, that's a problem.
That's 5 times. First time since 1970-71, Clemson has lost 5 straight games at home to power conference opponents. Yeah, so not a good stat to be in front of. So what we got here, Alex?
Yes, some Tiger gets in and says, referring to Tom Allen, he needs to be mad at himself. Doesn't he coach the linebackers?
No, he doesn't. Ben Boulware coaches the linebackers. And so he's the position coach for the linebackers. Tom Allen assists with it, obviously, but and he mentioned today that the depth at linebackers is part of the problem they have.
Yeah.
Appreciate your comments there. More people, please get on in. We got a bunch. Love for you guys to continue to give them in.
Yeah, Stephen Leslie gets in and says, defense let me down. Backup played his tail off once they opened the playbook up a little bit, talking about Vizina.
Yes, they did. Also because, SMU was doing exactly what I thought they were going to do. They were bringing everybody in the box. They were stunning. And we'll get to the offensive line here in a second because, oh, my gosh, I don't know what to say about the offensive line. Now, the defensive line has been inconsistent, but at least they look competent. At least they look like, Alex, they've played college football before.
Yeah.
The defense, I mean, the offensive line, we'll get to that in a second. But, yes, there's some issues with the defense that still – it's more depth than anything else. That's really kind of the bugaboo with the defense right now.
Yeah, and John Grant gets in on this. Defense couldn't stop a one-legged quarterback.
I know.
Kevin Jennings got hurt early in the game.
Well, I didn't realize
he was banged up coming in.
He was banged up with the ankle sprain coming in. Now, it wasn't a high ankle sprain, Cade's is, but it was an ankle sprain nonetheless. And he was running on it. I mean, he's running running right up the middle, getting 6, 7 yards, 8 yards. They used him a lot in the run game, way more than they did in the ACC championship game last year. But again, defense got to make stops there. In the fourth quarter, you're down 29-24. Your offense is rolling. And I'm telling you, if Clemson gets a stop there at 29-24 and gets the ball back, Clemson scores to take the lead.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind. And by the way, can I ask this? Am I wrong at this? It's 29-23, and Dabo kicks the extra point. Why didn't you go for 2 there? It's 29-23, which means if you miss the 2-point conversion, a touchdown still gives you the lead.
Well, I mean, if you get it, you're still down 4, right? Is what you're saying?
No, if you get it, you're down 3.
Oh, you said 23.
No, you're down 4, but then this is what I mean. If you get it, you're down 4, yes. But if you score a touchdown, you're up 3. They can't beat you with the field goal.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. That's
I mean, usually you
go for 2 then, so you don't have to go for 2 later.
Well, on your analytic chart, it tells you not to go for 2 until you need it. So
in my mind, you needed it because SMU was going to go down and score.
I get what you're saying. I think honestly, semantics though, you didn't get the stop anyway.
Yeah,
which is what we're talking about. But Tiger Paw GT gets in and says Allen admitted he can't call man defense. They aren't capable.
Yeah.
I think being able to call some man defense in that fourth quarter would have helped you.
I mean, they aren't capable. Totally agree. But
Yeah, I mean, you got a PI playing zone against a crossing route.
listen, I'm going to tell you, Kevin Jennings wasn't having his best day. I mean, it looked like he chopped Clemson up and all, but he didn't.
Yeah, but
He just had a couple big passes.
Yeah, I mean, he was 23 or 43.
And hold on, before we get the rest of that, he was 70% completion percentage coming into the game.
Yeah.
For the season. He went 23 of 43.
Yeah.
Clemson did their job for the most part against him.
Yeah.
But there's a couple busted plays, as we know.
And they were big time busts.
And they were big plays at big moments in the game. And one right at the end there on that last drive where he hits number 2 again, Jordan Hudson. He hits him down the sideline for like a 29, 30-yard gain. And that was a huge play. You know, and that was it. That sealed it because then they could kick a field goal and they're up at least 8. So it pretty much sealed the game. And Clemson only had one timeout at that point. You just knew Clemson was going to get the ball back with hardly any time left. But then they gave up a touchdown and it was over. You know, so but as you mentioned, you had a chance, Alex. But credit SMU for getting the matchup. They got a linebacker on a slot receiver.
Yep.
And you knew it wasn't going to end well. You just knew, and you know, and it didn't. It ended in a PI. It was a legit PI.
Yeah, I mean, it was the right call. He got mugged.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people were booing because the flag was thrown.
Put Rob back up there.
Yeah, Rob Ellen gets in. Maybe Mike Tomlin gave some 2-point advice to Dabo.
I was wondering the same thing, Rob, because Mike Tomlin is the worst 2-point coach in the world. You know,
I don't know what sheet he's using for his 2-point.
Tomlin does a horrible job with 2 points and does a horrible job with the challenge flag.
Yeah.
It's like he challenges the worst challenges. I'm like, Mike, you're going to lose. Who told you to challenge that?
Well, they don't have a video board at that stadium. What are you doing?
What are you doing? You know, you don't got a guy up in the box saying, don't do it. So, yeah, appreciate that, Rob, getting in. If you want to get in, you know, please keep throwing the comments at us. We'll definitely get your question in or your comment in, and we'll talk about it. All right, Alex.
I got one more question from Desperate Man.
All right.
7042 on YouTube. I understand your point, but all the other highly ranked teams have a lot more players making a lot more money and still giving great effort. Why not Clemson? Fair question.
Totally fair question. And I think some of it's coaching. Some of it is the players. Some of it is one thing I think about, and we're going to talk about it here in a second on the offensive line. You know how when you're in college and you're about to graduate and you're focused on your job, what job, and you know, parties or graduation and all that stuff that you got coming up, and it's called senioritis. And you get a little bit of senioritis in you, and you're just kind of like not there anymore. And I hate to say this because I love the guy personally, but I'm wondering if Joey Batson got a little bit of senioritis because has this not been the weakest offensive line you've ever seen?
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that too, and I try not to bring it up because of that helmet right there, Joey Batson, proud Devil Dog, BRTR. But I was kind of wondering about that too. You know, it does seem like there's a strength and conditioning problem this year that's more apparent than normal.
Yes,
and there's been questions that there's been one,
especially on the offensive line.
Yep, and there's been questions that there's been one for a few years.
Yes,
at Clemson from people outside of Clemson talking about it. Somebody that me and has talked to us about this before, and it's apparent on this team. So you almost wonder, it's like, why didn't you? A strength and conditioning coach sets the course for the team in the summer.
Yep,
let's call it what it is. They set the tone for the team. They have more influence on, I would say, in a lot lot they have
from
more
April
influence.
From April to July. They have the most influence.
And your strength and conditioning coach, I think, has as much influence as the head coach on your football team when it comes to culture, and when it comes to intensity, and when it comes to grit. Your strength and conditioning coach has as much, if not more, influence than the head coach because of what you just mentioned. That from April to July, that's the only person they see. And yeah, this Clemson team, I don't think there's any question that there was some issue in the summer that hindered them from being ready to play football this year.
Yeah, something happened because let's just talk about it. Watching the offensive line play, I saw a safety come in and basically manhandle a defensive tackle. I mean, an offensive tackle, a safety on Clemson's offensive line. Just shrugged him to the side, and I saw guys stunting for SMU, and it's like Clemson's never seen this stunt before. I mean, Alex, what complicated stuff they were doing? They were bringing a safety hot, and nobody's picking him up. He's just running right in there. They got a linebacker sitting there watching the play. He's running to the flow side because, Alex, that's common sense. If you see the running back and the flow, the offense going this way, you run to the flow side, right?
Yep.
You got offensive linemen like, oh,
where'd he come from?
I'll just go over here.
Yeah.
I'll block the other side and let the linebacker just scoot on through the hole. And then I'll be like, oh, where'd he come from? Oh, no. Then I saw guards just getting eaten. I saw number 9, just eating them, just totally eating the 2 guards in the center. Just like, I don't really care about you. Let me just throw you like a pancake to the side. And then I'll just push the other guy out of the way. I'll just blow up every play. Technique was horrible. Guys are too wide open on their stance, just getting beat, because they're just too wide open. It's like, have you ever played offensive line before?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it looked like. Like, they looked like I was watching middle schoolers play offensive line.
Yep.
That's what it looked like. And I'm thinking to myself, is it coaching or is it just the players?
Yeah.
And Matt Luke, I've heard nothing but good things. This is the Matt Luke who was great at Ole Miss and great at Georgia. So my knowledge tells me it ain't Matt Luke. So why is this happening?
It's not like there's some new defensive line scheme that's been invented in the last 3 years that Matt Luke doesn't understand. I mean, these are simple football things. These are simple stunts that have been run for decades, and it looked like nobody on Clemson's team had ever, like you said, had ever seen film of a stunt, had ever heard of a stunt, had ever used a stunt in a college football 26 video game. I mean, it just looked helpless and just getting out physical, this is another thing too I wanted to get to. I know people get mad when there are holding calls on the offensive line. Clemson's holding calls, you should be thankful that they held, because it's probably like keeping a running back or a quarterback from getting killed. Because when Clemson's offensive linemen are holding, which happens a lot, it's because they got their butt whipped by a blitzer.
Jacobs tackle a guy.
Yeah,
you're
just grabbing the dude's neck to keep him from getting past you. I mean, that's what they're like. Oh bleep holds is what they are.
Yeah,
because guys just don't have any kind of reaction time up there. I mean, it's silly when you rewatch these games.
Jacobs, by the way, I said Brandon.
Yeah, Braden Jacobs.
Sorry,
but it's silly. It really is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and it's just to watch them. And I'm like, look, I know somebody on here talked about Eric McLean's breakdown, and Eric gives a great breakdown. Eric's a former offensive lineman, so Eric really knows what he's talking about.
Yeah,
way more than I or you do, because we didn't play offensive line.
Yeah.
But
we were not this big when we were in high school.
But Alex, you know what I do know? I do know a safety blitz, and I do know it shouldn't be that easy. And so, to watch how their safeties were just coming down and just continuously coming down, and they just weren't adjusting. Like you said earlier, where did that guy come from? It's just like, hold on a second. You're looking right at him. There's one play where Harris Sewell, by the way, Harris Sewell, what are you doing, dude? You can't play right guard. You can't play left guard. I don't know. Maybe you're just a center and that's it. Maybe you're just like Lithicum and you can only play one position. But, dude, right now he's awful. He is, if you watch him play, it is just like he gets whipped at the point of attack. Go watch the tape and watch how many times he's being thrown to the ground like a rag doll. I mean, it's amazing. I'm like, what's going on here? And that's where I go back. That's strength and conditioning.
Yep.
That's strength and conditioning right there. That should not happen. Your junior guard should not be getting thrown to the ground like a rag doll.
Yep.
And listen, Harris Sewell's a big guy. I've talked to him. He's a big guy. Nice guy, too, by the way. Really nice guy. Great story. He shouldn't be being thrown around like a rag doll. That goes on strength and conditioning, in my opinion. But then just like other times, like he's missing assignments. He's getting whipped, or he's just technique's not good. I mean, and it's not just him too. Other guys on the offensive line. I mean, it's a joint effort. Everybody's playing horrible. I mean, they're just bad. They're just bad on the offensive line. And all we heard was how good they were going to be.
Yeah.
Just like on the defensive line, we heard how good they were going to be, how great they were going to be. People had Clemson's offensive line ranked number 1. People had Clemson's defensive line ranked number 1. You thought Clemson was going to be really good at the line of scrimmage. You want to know why Clemson's 3-4? Because they suck at the lines of scrimmage. And I tell people this all the time. When you suck at the lines of scrimmage, you're not winning football games. It's just simple as that. I don't care. You can have Tom Brady, and you can have Randy Moss. You can have Gronk, and you can have Eric Dickerson playing running back. It don't matter if your offensive line can't block. Yep. And that's just the way it is. That's football.
Yeah, Rob got in there and kind of, on the Tom Brady thing. That's what reminded me of this. He said, does Riley want Vizina to fail? The play calling in the first quarter would have made it impossible for Tom Brady to succeed.
That's where I agree. There's where the play calling. Okay, the safety screaming down. He's screaming. I mean, totally just leaving his area. Okay, you're not seeing that one time or 2 times or 3 times. We're seeing that like a bunch. Play action, pull off, and when that safety comes down, hit it over the top.
Yep.
They didn't do that in the first quarter.
Hit big number 87. Hit number 1. You could have hit number 12.
Yes.
In the first half
I mean, the plays were open. I mean, this is a bad secondary, and you really didn't attack it the way you should have in the first half. And then, oh my gosh, please. What are we doing on the 4th and 1 play with Peter Woods? Why do we got Peter Woods running wide? Peter Woods should go hit the A gap. He should never be running for the B gap. Never. Never should be running for the B gap. He should try to run the A gap. He runs the A gap. There's a little bit of a hole there. He's going to go up against another big guy, but he's going to win that. He's going to fall forward and win that and get that 1 yard for you. But you got him going to the B gap? What are we doing? This isn't Eric Dickerson. This isn't Herschel Walker. This is definitely not Reggie Bush. This is Peter Woods. You have him hitting A gap, and that's it. And I give Peter Woods credit. He was trying everything he could to get the yard. He was doing everything he could to get forward. But there was just how many? I mean, there's like 6 Mustangs around him because once again, offensive line could not block them. It was pitiful.
Yeah, and again though, here's another thing. Will is again in a game when you got behind. And I've seen John Grant's got in on this. A couple other people have got in on this. Again, you forgot that you have a running back. Like you have a running back. Yeah, you had 10 carries for 29 yards. We all know how the run game works. Anybody who's watched football ever in their life, the run game is a second half thing. You got an offense that's gashing your defense. They're tired. You don't have depth. Why do you not even try to run the football? Again, you don't try to run the football. You ran the ball 11 times with your running backs. Yeah, SMU's got a pretty good run defense. Like we established that in the preview show. But we also talked about how you at least have to try to run the ball against them. You have to keep their defense somewhat honest. And, credit Vizina for making the throws in the second half and keeping Clemson in the game. But you still didn't try to run the ball ever in the whole football game.
30 carries for the game. And like you said, 15 of those carries were Christopher Cena. 1 carry was Denson, and then 2 carries was Antonio Williams.
Yeah.
So you had
why are we acting like Chris Vizina?
18 of your 30 carries were non-running backs.
And I know we talk everybody on Twitter all season, baby Josh Allen,
19,
about
excuse me,
Chris Vizina, and it must just be because he's 17 and tall. Because he's not a running quarterback.
He's not Josh Allen.
Yeah, why are people pretending like he's Josh? Why is Garrett Riley pretending like he's Josh Allen and running quarterback draw? with the guy who just needs to stay in a pocket and throw the ball.
which is what he did in the second half.
Yeah.
More of, and they attacked, but they had to because they were down. They're down more than 2 scores at that time. So they had to attack. You know, just crazy. Listen, I don't know what they're doing with the running game. I don't think they've. I do know this much, Alex. The reason they don't run the ball is because the offensive line just isn't run blocking. It's just not.
But does that mean you don't try? I mean, how many teams in college football have a crappy offensive line and still try to run the ball?
When they do run it, though, just watch the run plays. Your boy, Adam Randall's getting blown up. Your boy, Gideon Davidson, they're like, we got to get Davidson off the field or he's going to tear his ACL or something.
Yeah, we got to keep Davidson healthy so he can go run the ball for Lane Kiffin at Florida next year.
I guess so, because I'm sorry, but or at Notre Dame.
I'm not saying that from a place of knowledge, but
no, you were
just saying when you have a highly touted player and you give him the ball 6 times over the course of a season, he's probably not going to stay.
And he's not happy. Yeah, he's probably not happy, and I'm sure his family's not either. But part of it though is because they're just bad on the offensive line. Adam Randall gets hit. Look, let's go back to even last year. Look how many times Phil Maffa got hit in the backfield. Look how many times Adam Randall. I would love to see the metric of Adam Randall getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. I bet you the first hit is always 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I bet you 10-1 it is.
Yeah.
You cannot run the football successfully when you're getting hit behind the line of scrimmage on every play.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam Randall's going to make some guys miss, and he's going to break some tackles. But your first contact should not be 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And that's why they don't run it, because the offensive line continues to fail. They haven't gotten better. They've gotten worse. And people can blame it on injuries. I get that, and some of it, But come on. Harris Sewell's been playing 3 years now. Harris Sewell should be better than that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Colin Sadler should be better than that. He's a 4-year guy.
Tristan Lee should be better than that.
Tristan Lee should be better than that.
The only guy who shouldn't be better than that is Brady Jacobs.
Blake Miller should be better than the way he's played.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be an All-American. He ain't played like an All-American.
He hasn't played like an all Clemson football team.
No.
Player. Let's call it what it is.
By the way, somebody just asked it here. This is a good question. Will they have Cole Turner on the bench and utilize Tristan Smith and Tyler Brown more? And the reason, I guess, GU, how do you say that, Alex?
Gutter Rich
10.
Yeah.
Good question. The reason you're asking that is because Bryant Wesco, in case you don't know, is out for the season. He's, as Dabo described it, as a back injury yesterday. The good news is he's going to be okay. He's going to make a full recovery. Doesn't sound like he's going to need anything other than what he already has. He's already home and everything. So that's the good news. All the tests came back negative, so no major damage or anything of that nature. But he is injured. He is going to be out for the rest of the year. So who's going to step up at wide receiver? Great question.
Well, on Saturday, TJ Moore did.
TJ Moore did.
And on Saturday, Tristan Smith did.
Well, they're going to need somebody besides TJ Moore because people are going to – you got Antonio Williams still. That's the good news.
Yeah.
So what you do is Antonio Williams will now play the field. He will be your field guy, and then that means – and Tristan Smith will be the field guy, and you're going to have probably Turner in the slot, Tristan and then from time to time Williams in the slot and Tyler Brown in the slot. That's what it's going to be. I think your starters, though, are going to be more probably Tristan Smith and then Williams. But you're going to see Williams play more of the field, I think, now than you have before because they're going to need him. They need somebody. They need a burner on that outside, right? I mean, they need somebody that can go vertical, And Tristan Smith could be the guy, too, because he can fly. Yeah. So
and talk about a guy who's hungry and wants to be on the field. That's your hungry guy on the field.
That catch he made the other day was great. I mean,
and it was a great read by Vizina.
It was.
Saw the flag, made the read, made the big throw.
Somebody asked on there, is Turner Wesco's backup? Let me look on the depth chart from last week. Yes, he is. Cole Turner is the backup. But I think they will adjust.
But, yeah, they're going to make adjustments and have – you want to have your best personnel on the field at all times. If that means you you're going to have Antonio Williams on the field.
You don't want let's see. You don't want 6'1" Cole Turner and 5'11" Antonio Williams. And let's see. And then a 6'3" more. You want, if you could put the reason Wesco was on the field and he was 6'2", he was 6'2", but he also was a burner.
Right.
So you had a 6'3", 6'2" guy. There's no doubt you don't want a 6'1", 5'11" guy both on the field. You want to have a bigger guy. I think Tristan Smith, because of his size, and he can go vertical as well, I think you're going to put him on the field because you want to have tall guys, receivers on the field. Because corners are 6 foot, 6'2". Now all of them are. So, so I think that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, 100%. You got to mix things up and have your best group on the field. Another thing I want to get to, Will, we talked about in the show last week that if you want to run the ball in SMU, you got to do a lot of 11, a lot of 12, a lot of 13, 2 back sets. Clemson didn't really do any of that on Saturday to try to run the ball. They weren't running power sets or putting other big guys in there to help your offensive line.
The only power set they ran was the Peter Woods. Yeah. And by the way, what's up with Walker Parks? Like, why is Walker Parks like he played for the Peter Woods part, but Sewell played most of the game. When Sadler got hurt, they brought in 77.
Yeah.
Not Parks. What's going on with Parks? I mean, he's good enough to block in a play like that, but not good enough to block in a regular game. Is there something going on there?
Maybe you feel really bad about his pass protection.
Well, maybe so, but that's not pass
throw
protection.
The ball a lot. Well, I'm saying you knew you were going to throw the ball a lot because obviously they didn't try to run the ball.
Yeah,
on Saturday, so maybe that's why you don't bring him in. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words on that move too. That didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it's a question I definitely need to ask Dabo about Walker Parks. Like, what's up with him? And you didn't use him very much last week. I have to look at his. I'll look it up right now. I'll pull it up his participation chart. Let's see that.
Yeah, we had a question on here earlier too about how much influence on the blocking scheme Garrett Riley has as the offensive coordinator. What would you say on that front, Will?
I would say he has a lot of input on it because he's the offensive coordinator.
You're getting to the point now where it's like if your offensive line can't execute the schemes that you're given, which some of the schemes don't make a lot of sense in the run game. And I know you've watched the same tape that I've seen, and some of the run blocking schemes don't make a lot of sense to begin with. Is there a certain point where you say, hey, look, our guys can't execute these? Maybe Matt Luke's got a simplified plan that these guys can execute?
So, Alex, in the last 3 games, Walker Parks has 29 total snaps. And 1 snap, who did Clemson play before? 1 snap against North Carolina, 27 snaps against BC, and then 1 snap against SMU.
Wow.
So, I don't know what's going on there.
That's like injury snap counts.
Right.
That's like you're rehabbing injury.
Exactly.
You definitely need to get an answer on that.
That's a question there, like what's going on there. But no,
wouldn't you say though, kind of to my point, that is there a point where you're saying these guys can't block in these schemes in the run game? Do we simplify things?
I think they need to go back to gap schemes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you just say, all right, Matt, we can
take the read out.
We can call these same plays with the gap scheme, especially if, God forbid, Cade Klubnik is not ready to go for Duke, or he's on a pitch count leading up to Duke, and you're having to
listen. I'm going to tell you this now. If Cade Klubnik is a high ankle sprain, which I've been told it is, it seems like it is by the way you saw that thing he was wearing the other day. He ain't playing against Duke. Most guys don't come back on high ankle sprain that fast. That's only 3 weeks.
Yeah,
that's only 3 weeks.
Maybe he's seeing an old witch doctor in Central or whatever.
Maybe what's the medicine the guy did when he played for the Major League Baseball, the movie
Major League, where he's doing the
Major
voodoo.
League. Yeah, we did the voodoo stuff and that stuff that smelled real bad. Remember? Yeah. And maybe he's doing that.
Hey, there've been some miraculous injury recoveries at Clemson, so I wouldn't be shocked beyond belief if I saw he was ready.
I will be surprised knowing it's a high ankle sprain.
Yeah,
he comes back because high ankle sprains generally 3 to 4 weeks minimum. Yeah. So and you got a quarterback who cuts, and stuff like that. It's a quarterback, and it's his plant foot to begin with, right? It's the plant foot. So, not good.
Yeah.
Or it's his right foot, I should say.
Tiger Paw GT on the run blocking schemes. Can't we go back to the blocking they used against Notre Dame in 2023? They simplified. Maffa had 170 plus yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Just go run the gap scheme.
I mean, at this point,
what do you got to
we
lose?
need to talk about this too. I mean, look at the schedule. Where are your 3 wins? You're trying to get to a bowl game now.
Well, I was going to say Clemson's got to beat somebody with the pulse at some point. I don't know if it's going to be Florida State because Florida State. I don't know. Will Florida State have a pulse? They just went out to Stanford and laid an egg out there. I don't know. I think they may be done. I think again Norvell's looks like he's lost that team,
and he's a lame duck coach.
And
they said, coach. Yeah, we're riding with him to the end of the year. Basically, what they said there.
Basically, they're saying we're going to try to figure a way to get that $51 million or whatever it is.
Well, what they're saying is, hey, this thing gets a little bit cheaper in November. Maybe we'll wait. Maybe we'll wait until after Thanksgiving. Please help Cade heal Jobu. From Rob Allen. That's nice.
I love it.
I mean, but seriously, who would have thought in 2018 or 2019 or 2020 or 2021 or August that we'd be sitting here on October 21st counting wins to get to a bowl game? But that's where Clemson football is at.
Okay, they got one win, Furman, because even if here's
the other thing too. Furman's bad.
Furman's bad. So you got one win. I
got 4. A couple friends that work on the football staff there, and they're bad.
They're bad. Furman's bad. They're bad. They just lost to Wofford. Okay, so they're bad.
I mean, they got annihilated by Western Carolina. I mean, they're not good.
They're bad. Furman's bad. They lost to PC, who has no scholarship.
Well, PC's
players.
Undefeated.
So. I know, but still, no scholarship players. You got scholarship players. They don't, and they beat you.
So there's one.
There's one win.
You got Duke. You got Florida State.
Duke. By the way, guys, more history coming your way in the Valley. Clemson has not lost to Duke in Death Valley since 1980. So more history is coming to the Valley.
And that was a really good Duke team in 1980.
So just go ahead and get yourself ready for it. Another part of history in Death Valley. Clemson playing at home is going to happen. It's not going to be a good one. Clemson ain't beating Duke, dude. I'm sorry. They are not beating Duke. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Well, here's the thing, Will. If you can't block against simple stunts, how are you going to block against a Manny Diaz defense?
And if you can't stop the run,
you're not going to score. I mean,
their quarterback,
you're not going to score.
And their quarterback's the best quarterback in the ACC.
Yeah.
And it ain't even close. He's the best one. And you couldn't stop a gimpy one this past week. And the Duke quarterback is healthy. They got a week off. The guy leads the ACC completion percentage. He leads the ACC in passing yards. He leads the ACC in touchdown passes. He's only thrown 2 interceptions all year. The guy is good. So, and a defense right now that's can't stop anybody. That's of worth note. That's given up 37 points and 35 points the last 2 home games. I mean,
and I tell you what, Gabe, there's no way that you win. Is Louisville on a Friday night. You're not
winning that one.
You are not beating Louisville on a Friday night. So what we're saying, Clemson's path to a bowl game is you got to beat Florida State at home.
Yes.
After losing what we would say that'd be 6 straight games against Power 5 opponents in Death Valley.
Yep.
You got to beat Florida State. You're going to beat Furman. So there's your one. And then you got to beat South Carolina and Columbia. Who may or may not also be playing you for bowl eligibility. I mean, it may be a battle for a bowl game.
I don't know. Will South Carolina? I think South Carolina might already have 7 losses before they get there.
They might.
I mean, unless they upset.
But either way, I mean, if there's any guy
left, they got Alabama during this stretch, right? Alabama, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. And isn't Ole Miss and Texas A&M on the road?
Yeah, they go 2 Ole Miss, 2 Texas A&M.
So you're telling me their best chance to win is this week?
Yeah, their best chance to win is Alabama at home. And then they've got Coastal Carolina at home, but November is actually a decent Coastal Carolina team. Thankfully, Clemson's lead up to the South Carolina game is a bad Furman team. They have a pretty good Coastal team coming in. So Coastal team that just went and planted the flag up in Boone.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
I mean, Coastal's not going to beat South Carolina, right? I mean, they're not going to.
No
No,
way, right?
there's-
No way. It's not
No
possible.
way.
No, like lesser in-state opponent like of low caliber like that has ever gone into Williams-Brice Stadium in November and beaten South Carolina. It's never happened before.
So anyway, odds are you're going to have a 5-6 Clemson team going up against a 4-7 South Carolina team.
I saw somebody said it was going to be on Cartoon Network for the TV designation. I think it might be ESPN Plus. You might have to pay $7.99 to watch it.
The good news is we already know it's on ESPN.
Yes.
So
And ESPN is probably like, damn it, why did we put them in the prime time or the
we need to send that to the
national TV
SEC
slot?
network.
Yeah.
You know, and have the university broadcast team do it. You know,
of our friend Kate Crenshaw on play-by-play.
Kate got the shout out.
Yeah,
Kate got the
come on,
shout. We
Kate.
got to tell him that next time I see him. When I see him up there, I'm gonna say, "You got a shout out on the podcast." Alex, give you a shout out.
Will, what are some questions that you want answered over bye week that are realistic?
Well, there's one question here that I think Rob Ellen, 1609 on YouTube. Good question here. Do you think Dabo wants CV to play against Duke to see what he has if he needs to go to the portal, or to see if he needs to go to the portal? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I say this is a game where you probably play. I don't think Cade's going to be 100%. I think he's going to do everything he can to get ready to play. But again, it's hard to ask a guy to come back off a high ankle sprain. 3 weeks is hard. It could possibly do it, but I just don't see it. I don't think Cade's going to be 100%. So maybe you do this because then you say, okay, let's see if he can consistently play 2 games in a row. Now that there's film on him, and there is, right? So there's film on him for the first time. Can he play well when now against a good defensive coordinator and Manny Diaz, who's had film on him, got to study him for 2 weeks? Can he go out there and perform still? You know, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Dabo's going to play this one close to the vest because he's going to be like, yeah, I don't know if Cade can play or not. You know, he's going to be day to day, hour to hour,
minute to minute. I mean, he was hour to hour last week, so now he's got to be like minute to minute or second to second, right?
Exactly. So we'll see. But good question, Rob. Appreciate the question. That's a good one. Go ahead, Alex. What were you going to ask me?
Yeah. What questions do you have going into the bye week that realistically you think could be answered?
That could be answered in the bye week? None. I mean, it wasn't answered the last time they played. The last time they had a bye week.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Coach Allen today said that Tom Allen, defense coordinator, said today that they were, they were going to try to get more depth. But really, can you find depth in
halfway
2
through
weeks?
the season?
Yeah. I mean,
I think you passed finding depth.
I think you have too. So I think you're just kind of stuck with what you got at this point. Because there's a reason why you're playing those other guys so much, because you don't got anybody behind them. That's worth the darn. I mean, I think you can do something defensively with Jeremiah Alexander. I think that's a guy, in my opinion, you got to get him on the field more.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure a way to do it because he's nothing but productive when he is. And I'm like, why isn't he on the field more?
Yeah.
I understand he's a liability in pass coverage and stuff like that. I don't care.
Who isn't?
Because you know what I do? What I do know? Wade Woodaz is too.
That's what I'm saying. Who isn't?
And so is Sammy Brown. So get him on the field more. Figure a way to make it work, because he's your best option in that linebacker space. And he might be a better option than Wade Woodaz.
Right. It might be. Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, give him in there. I mean, Sammy Brown is the guy, and you need to have Sammy Brown on the field as much as possible. I'm totally 100% behind that. But Sammy Brown's got so much put on him because he's having to make every play. And that's not, you don't want Sammy Brown to feel like he's got to make every play. Because that's when stuff happens, right? So I just don't know. At safety, do you got anybody? You don't. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't. There's a reason why you're playing Ronan Hannafin, a guy who never played defense until last year at Clemson,
Yeah.
Now's your starting safety, free safety. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too, about Ronan Hannafin. I don't want him to get mixed up in this other conversation we're having. A guy who is busted it on the field every time is Ronan Hannafin.
He does.
He just
And I hate that he got the PI call on him. I hate it.
and it was an effort PI.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was an effort PI. They're playing zone. He's trying to get downhill and make a play. But he just doesn't have the tools to be a power 4 guy in the defensive back.
I hate to say it this way, but he's like Boston College safety.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I would
honestly,
love for him to be strong safety.
Yeah.
And would play that strong safety position and just go take somebody's head off.
Yeah.
But
I think so too. I mean, it's definitely more of a the guy makes tackles in the open field. I mean, he gets downhill and makes tackles against the run. So that's why I'm saying I don't want him to get thrown in the effort conversation. But he's just not – he shouldn't be there. That's just the way it is.
Steve Leslie, are we going to hit the portal hard? Boy, you hope so.
I mean, you think so. I mean, when you have a season like this.
Until they do it, you know, what they need to do is they need to go over there to Brad Brownell and Lucas McKay, and they need to ask them, how do you get in the transfer portal?
Yeah. How do you portal?
How do you evaluate guys in the transfer portal fast? Because Lucas today was on the radio. He was talking about like they got 4 commitments in 25 days this year. So in 25 days is all they had to get guys to come to Clemson. Football team needs to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to go get a buttload of people this year.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's the thing. I'm like, well, here's the thing too, Will, is, people are talking about, are they going to? They're going to have to. They're going to have roster spots open this year. When you have a season like this, you don't have 98% retention. Let's call it what it is. You're not going to have 98% retention this year. You might not have 90% retention this year on your roster, because that's what happens when you have seasons like this. So you're going to have to go get 15 players in the portal. I mean, you're going to have to, because you're going to have players leave. You're going to have open roster spots.
And Tiger Paul GT, who's a great friend of the Clemson Insider message board as well, and we appreciate you, coming on YouTube saying they should use more 4-3 defense, at least cover these 10-yard routes, use Alexander in the pass rush, like they like they said he has the potential to do. Tiger Paul GT, thanks, buddy. Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. I think they should go 4-3. I really do. I think
that's your personnel. And
you got Tink Kelly on the
beat.
Field. I mean, I like Tink Kelly. He's a good kid from nearby Daniel High School, but he ain't big enough, and he gets run over all that he get, and they're just not physical on the edges, and that's another problem they have. And I think you are putting yourself at a disadvantage when you're in that situation. I'm like, go 4-3, put pressure on the quarterback, maybe go 3-3-5. Maybe that's something you do.
Yeah.
And you put Peter Woods as more of like a defensive end kind of guy in that role, like in that lineup. And then you run maybe Alexander sits out there as a rush linebacker. Something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to do something. And on this portal conversation, did it not sound like Tom Allen was making like a transfer portal pitch in his press conference?
Yes, it did.
I mean, he's describing the type of player that he needs on his defense and saying he wants these types of players.
He wants Will Heltz.
Yeah, he's not talking about adding to the recruiting class.
No.
When he's saying that. He's talking about
he wants
these are guys that we're going to have to get. And here's the thing, too.
He wants more guys like Will Heltz. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, Dabo might not be willing to say, hey, you need to go somewhere else. I don't know that Tom Allen's scared to say, hey, man, if you're going to stay here, that's great. We'll work with you, but I don't have anywhere for you to play.
Right. And here's another thing. And I know Dabo is set on, I don't want guys that are coming in making more money than the guys already here. I'm sorry, Dabo. You got to do it.
Well, Eric Bakich said that today too, and I had the same reaction. I'm like, yeah, but wouldn't you want to have one of these, prolific pitchers who's throwing 98 and starting for you on Saturday?
Yeah.
I think I'd be fine with paying that guy more than somebody else.
Look, there's going to be a quarterback in the portal that's going to be a top-of-the-line quarterback. Yeah. And doggone it, Clemson needs to go compete for him.
Yeah.
And they need to give him the money to get his butt to Clemson. They do. I'm sorry. And Dabo's going to have to really look a hard look at his program. You can still get good kids in the program to the portal, but you're going to have to start doing it because this is the game. It's changed now. You can't build your program through the high school ranks anymore. I'm sorry. This is proving it. This year is proving that. Because this team is totally built by Dabo Swinney through the high school ranks. This whole team is, with the exception of 3 guys.
Yep.
And they're 3-4. Worst start to the season since 2008, Dabo. That's where you're at, my friend. And I know you don't care what me and Alex think, and I know you're going to forget more football than me and Alex are ever going to know. But Dabo's got to do something different. He has to.
And I think he will. I mean, I really do think that he will.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that wants to win football games.
He
doesn't want to have 6-6.
I think he's going to too. And by the way, I think so people understand, I think Dabo deserves the right to fix this. He's earned that.
No, yeah, 100%.
So people saying that, there's people that we've seen it on these threads here, and I've seen it threads on message boards and stuff. People out there actually saying Clemson needs to replace Dabo Swinney. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay? You're an idiot. Dabo Swinney's a 2-time national championship coach. The guy knows how to win. He knows how to build a football staff. He knows how to recruit and get players in here. He's just got to do it different now, and he deserves the right to do it. He gets that opportunity. He deserves that opportunity to do it right and to get it fixed. Nobody else deserves that but Dabo Swinney. So people that want to get rid of Dabo, you need to go and start cheering for the Gamecocks, okay? Or do something like that. You get out of here with that mess. Dabo Swinney deserves to be Clemson's head coach.
Dude,
he deserves the opportunity to get this fixed.
I've seen more Clemson fans talking about firing Dabo Swinney than South Carolina fans talking about firing Shane Beamer.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the point we're at. I mean, which is
and that's
silly.
ridiculous. It's silly. That should not be the case. Unless Dabo's caught up in a scandal, he ain't leaving. I think you're right, Rob. That was Rob that said that.
And Stephen Leslie, Dabo leaving when he wants to. 100%.
100% agree. He deserves that.
I mean, Dabo's going to get the opportunity to fix this, right? That's what's going to happen.
He is, yes.
Now, if you can't fix it, you have a different conversation.
That's a different conversation.
Bobby Bowden got fired.
But he got the opportunity to fix it.
But he got the opportunity to fix it, and Dabo's going to get the same credit in that. But he should get that credit from fans.
By the way, guys, Dabo's 55 years old. He's right now the same age Nick Saban was when Nick Saban took the job at Michigan State. Okay?
Yeah.
So Dabo is a young coach in the world of coaches. He's considered still to be a young coach. And he's already been doing it 17 years. So,
yeah.
How long do you give him, Will?
I mean, he was in the playoff last year. He won the conference and took the team to the playoff last year.
Listen,
people saying it's nearly a decade, nearly 8 years ago. Do you expect to win a national title every year?
Look, if you're in the playoffs, you got a chance.
Last year.
Yeah, you that's your goal. That's your first goal, get in the playoffs.
Come on now.
Yeah, and he won a conference championship just last year.
Yeah.
He's won 3 of the last 5, okay? So even though it's not 6 in a row like he had before that, he still won 2 of the last 4, whatever it is. So, let's just calm down. There's a lot of teams that would love to be Clemson spot. How many years do I give him? I give him 2.
Yeah, and Kevin Can gets in here and says the fix could take 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
It could, but there's a hell of a lot of football teams that fix stuff in 1 year now. Let's call it
hello, Indiana.
Yeah.
Hello, who else?
Indiana went from suck to perennial playoff team in a year.
Guys, Georgia Tech and Virginia could be playing for an ACC championship this year. You want to know how? Transfer portal. In 1 year for Virginia, 1 year. Georgia Tech, they've kind of built their program, but they did get some guys in the portal too. And oh, by the way, Indiana, total portal. The quarterback, they went and got a quarterback this year out of the portal. Guess what? He's kicking butt. Yep. He's probably going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yep.
Indiana, 2 years in a row, is like top 10 team. Okay. You know what Indiana did before that, Alex? The previous 80 years? Jack crap is what they did.
Yeah, they won their first bowl game with Lee Corso.
Do you know what Indiana's record was before going to Oregon and beating Oregon against top 10 teams, top 5 teams? You know what the record was before that win? 1-49. 1-49, the worst in the history of college football. The history of the AP poll. Indiana had that, and they went to Oregon and ended the nation's longest win streak. Okay? How'd they do it? Transfer portal.
Yep.
1 year. So Dabo can do it in 1 year because it's Clemson. What kid ain't going to want to come play for Dabo Swinney if he gets that opportunity?
Yeah.
He's going to, because everybody hears one thing about this that Dabo has that other coaches don't have is his reputation as a player's coach and how his players love him.
Yep.
That is enticing to a lot of players. So if Dabo goes out and jumps in that portal, Clemson's going to get players just like they got Will Helt, just like they got Alexander. Those guys came because of Dabo Swinney. Okay,
Yep.
So remember, Clemson beat out Texas A&M for Will Helt.
Yep.
People forget that. That's who they beat out to get Will Helt. So Texas A&M threw him a ton of money.
Yep.
But it came down, it wasn't about money. He wanted to play for Dabo Swinney. And so, there,
Yeah, a lot of people getting in on staff changes. Any thoughts mid-season, Will?
None mid-season. Dabo said that.
Right. I mean, do you have any thoughts here in the middle of the season?
What they need to do?
What they need to do at the end of the year?
I do have thoughts because I'm friends with some of the guys on the team, those coaches. I don't want to really – I'm not friends – I'm not like best friends with them, but I respect
I'm friends
them.
with guys
I know
on the
them.
coaching staff
I
too.
talk
Yeah.
to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of hard for me to put that out there because these guys I do consider friends in a way, and I talk to them all the time, and I I like them and like their families, and I know it's a tough situation for them. So I don't want to like say names,
Right?
but
You got to. But the point is,
do they need to make some changes?
Changes are going to be made.
Changes will be made. They definitely will be made. Trust me on that.
Yeah.
And I do know who some of the guys on the firing line are, and so and people are going to be satisfied if that's the case. Fans are. But I don't like to just publicly say the names or the positions because I respect those coaches enough not to do that, right now anyway. Like Wes last year, I was good friends with Wes, still am. And that was hard for me to have to talk about Wes and, they needed to replace him. That was hard for me, because I got a ton of respect for Wes and what he does and how smart he is. And you're seeing it in Oklahoma this year. Him and Brett are together again, and happy times are going on with them and coaching defense. So, that's why I don't like to do that if I don't have to. Probably will later on in the year if things continue to go they are. But right now, I'm just going to kind of keep that to myself a little bit and, respect those guys and not let them have to worry about such things. Because that's what Dabo's doing. Dabo's like, hey, I'm not doing any coaching changes right now. We'll evaluate that at the end of the year and we'll go from there.
Well, also, I mean, the other thing to this point is what's the point in getting rid of guys now? Here's the point. If you're going to get fired, you fire people mid-season. That's how it works. If somebody's going to fire you, you fire coordinators and assistants in the middle of the year.
So are you saying Shane Beamer's going to get fired?
No.
I mean, he just changed his offensive line coach.
Yeah. That shows that you feel the heat, that the heat's on you.
So Beamer's feeling the heat, you're saying?
He's got to be. I mean, he's got to be.
Beamer's face is as red as mine.
Yeah, you got to be. You had all these, your fan base at least had expectations coming into the year. So you feel some heat.
This is a desperate. How do you say that, Alex? Say that name.
Desperate Men.
Desperate Men.
42.
He says, "Are you assuming Dabo is going to start doing what everyone has been telling him to do for years, and that is to go to the portal and get a lot of players? He has been unwilling to do that." That's a good question because that is one of the things I want to see. I got to see it to believe it. I'm with you. I'm with you. I think Dabo needs to do it. I think he does because he's going to lose a lot of players this year, and recruiting is not going great, right? I mean, the offensive line is going pretty good. They're going to bring some good offensive linemen in, but other parts they're going to lose a lot of people. And is he convinced Christopher Zine is the guy? Is Dabo 100% convinced he's the guy? No, probably not right now. So I think he's got to go to the portal. Will he go to the portal? Remains to be seen, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Clemson's going to have to get guys from the portal. I mean, this is my thing. It's like they're going to get guys from the portal because they're going to have to. They're going to have open roster spots.
Yeah.
But there's no like if in my mind at all. The if for me is, are you going to pay to get the elite guys? That's the if. Are you going to pay for the elite guys, or are you just going to get bodies to fill out your practice squad or whatever? You know, that's more my question going into the transfer portal cycle. I mean, he's going to have to go to the portal. He's always said, hey, if I have to go to the portal, I will.
Right.
And this year he's going to have to because guys are going to leave. I mean, there's no – when you have a season like this, it would be a miracle if Clemson had 100% retention this year. I mean, you already lost one guy. If you have retention the rest of the year in this roster with the season you're having, it'd be a miracle.
It would be a miracle.
So.
All right, Alex. I first of all, guys, I love all the questions you're giving us. Do we have money to bring in 6 to 10 quality players? Yes.
Yeah, especially if you have guys that you're paying leave.
Yeah, Clemson's got the money. The money ain't the issue.
I mean, you're going to free up cap space because you're
competing to get
the
top players. Now, that's a different question. Do you have the money to bring in the top players, which is what Alex just talked about?
Right.
That's a little different question.
Well, you are going to think about this logically too, Will. Think about it like an NFL cap, which obviously there's no cap in college football, but think about it that way. Assume you have next year, you have the same amount of money you have this year.
Right.
Okay, Klubnik's gone. TJ Parker's gone. Like, your big money guys are leaving.
Right.
They're gone to, bigger and brighter things.
Right.
They're moving on. So you're going to have money to pay for quality players. It's just how many of the guys that you get are going to be elite players and how many are going to be, maybe like the diamond in the rough kid or whatever.
Yeah.
Which that's worked for some people.
Tristan Smith.
Yeah, I mean, that's worked for a lot of teams.
Yeah. Has.
So
yeah, it's worked for
Indiana. Been a lot of,
it's worked for Indiana really well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, Indiana didn't pay for.
They pretty much bring the whole James Madison team with them.
Yeah, and they didn't pay for the highest dollar guy in every position. I mean, they paid good money for Mendoza,
right?
Because he was, highly regarded, but he wasn't the number one quarterback in the transfer portal class.
No, he wasn't.
There's no doubt in my mind that Clemson can compete with Indiana in the transfer portal money-wise.
You would hope. It is Clemson.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, we got to get to our pick six and get out of here. Because
we could do a 3-hour show. I mean, what, you got dinner or something? What are you doing?
Yeah, I know, right? I got to eat at some point. Even though my face is red and says I shouldn't.
It's come down a little bit. It's less red.
It has. It's got cooler in the house. I really think it's because it just got hot in the house. It's definitely I feel great. So it's definitely it ain't that. So
all right, let's move on to our pick six here. Our pick six is brought to you by FanDuel because believing Clemson football is presented by FanDuel. Will, you're coming into this thing at 28-20. I'm 24-24. We both finished 3-3 last week. I'm never going to get over 500. That's my thought. I'm just never going to do it.
And Ashby, by the way, sits in first place at 4-2 because I can't get her percentage, her win percentage. So
nobody's going to get to her percentage. She was here for 1 week.
She got 67% win percentage.
She leads the guest picker. She leads the guest picker standings as the only guest picker. You know what I should have done? I should have said Ashby's picks go into my pool that week, and I would be above 500.
We should bring Ashby in each week just for the pick segment.
We could.
Just bring her in and say, all right, Ashby, you're coming in just for the pick segment this week,
Well, I've told you this already. She's too good to be coming in here because she's going to take my spot. So, Ashby, I know you're great.
And people are already saying she would make the podcast look better. So,
I don't know what's not to love about this right here.
Rachel loves it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
All
right,
go ahead.
Pick six.
Pick six. Here we go.
I got 6 doozies of football games coming up this week. We're going to start it out with number 19 in the land. Do you know who that is, Will?
No, I stopped looking at the rankings.
Notice we don't have the AP poll down here anymore because it's irrelevant. Number 19 in the land, USF.
All right.
They are a 5.5-point favorite at number 22, Memphis. This is a game that very well could be winner goes to the college football playoff.
Memphis lost last week, by the way. Stunner. They're one of the teams that what the hell just happened, right?
Yep.
So it's at Memphis, you said?
Yep.
Obviously, Memphis was looking ahead. USF is really good. That 5.5 is.
No,
is
Memphis. Also, wait.
I
Hold on
thought
a
you
second.
said. I thought you said USF.
Yeah,
was,
USF is a 5.5 point favorite. I was
Yeah.
looking back at Memphis's schedule. Yeah, they lost to the Trent Dilferless UAB football team
That's what I'm
last
saying.
week.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they clearly were looking ahead.
Had to be.
Yeah, they're looking at this game. -5.5. I think South Florida wins the game, but I think Memphis covers. I wouldn't be surprised if they won, to be honest with you. But I think in this game, that 5.5, that's that weird line.
Yeah.
And so you're like, I'm gonna go with the home team on this one, just because that 5.5. So I'm gonna go home team.
Yeah, I'm sticking with you on that. I got Memphis. Grab yourself a Dyer's cheeseburger to celebrate. Memphis is going to win a game.
Yeah, there we go. You're going to say Memphis is going to win, but you're not. But you're just talking the spread, though.
Right. Yeah, you don't get bonus points for picking straight up winners in our competition.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. Next game, number 5.
There's no super dog, is what you're telling us.
Exactly. Yeah, number 5, Ole Miss.
At
number 14, Oklahoma. The Sooners at the Palace on the Prairie are a 4.5-point favorite. Can John Mateer throw the football effectively in this game?
I'm going to say give me Ole Miss. I know Oklahoma's defense is really good, but Ole Miss is going to score at least 20 points. And my question is what you just said. Can Oklahoma score more than 20 points?
Yeah.
Ole Miss isn't bad. Ole Miss is a good football team.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have won that game against Georgia last week. They should have. And as much as I want to see Ole Miss lose because I don't like Lane Kiffin, but I do like the way Lane Kiffin comes back at people. That's hilarious. He's hilarious. But
great Twitter follow.
Oh, absolutely. He's a great Twitter follow. But I'm going to go. Give me Ole Miss on this one. I think Ole Miss is going to cover that 4.5. Maybe win the game.
I got the Sooners in this one as a 4.5-point favorite at home. I think their defense is going to have it figured out. Georgia's defense couldn't figure it out. That was kind of the surprise of the weekend for me, was a shootout in that game.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
No, that was a big surprise. But
I
got
thought if it was going to be a shootout, Ole Miss is going to win. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss couldn't get in a shootout with Wazoo 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Obviously, they were looking ahead
correct
in that game. But I think they're going to have a little bit of a hangover.
Is Wazoo the most snake-bitten team in college football?
They got to be, man. They're close to beating everybody.
I mean, they went to Virginia last week and had the lead, and then gave up a safety.
Dude,
Virginia wins 22-20.
They had the lead on Ole Miss.
I know.
For like 3.5 quarters. So
lost 17-14.
I got Oklahoma. It's Rob Ellen saying easy on the next Gators head coach, talking about Lane Kiffin. A lot of distractions at Ole Miss right now. I'm going with Oklahoma.
Lots of distractions, lots of people, lots of things.
Lots of rumors. All right.
Lots of rumors, things going on. Lots of girls in the whatever that's called.
All right.
What's it called? What are
you saying?
The Grove. Lots of girls in the Grove. Lots of pretty girls in the Grove. Whatever. Lots of people. Anyway.
All right. Next game. Missouri at Vandy. Vandy is a 2.5-point favorite in Nashville. They're a favorite against a ranked SEC team for a second straight week. That's got to be the first time ever. There's no way that's ever happened with this.
What's the line?
Vandy's a 2.5-point favorite.
Vandy's a 2.5-point favorite. Okay. Wow. That's that crazy crazy line. Sorry. That's that 2.5. Home team only getting 2.5. Give me Vandy. I'll take that every time. Plus, I'm not picking against Vandy anymore. They burn me every time I pick against them. So,
Well,
I'm putting Vandy on these things. I lose like every week on them.
I'm gonna have faith that you're gonna lose because of Vandy again.
I either lose because I picked the week before I picked them against Alabama, and then last week I picked them again. I didn't pick them to cover last week, so I'm just tired of picking against Vandy.
I'm gonna pick against Vandy again. I'm picking Missouri. Eli Drinkwitz, he has a mission. He is on a mission to be the next Florida head coach, and part of that is going to be
Lane Kiffin says, "Hold on, big buddy."
Hey, that's the thing. I'm picking against Lane Kiffin and I'm picking for Drinkwitz. So I guess I'm in a way picking Drinkwitz to be the next Florida head coach here.
Okay, so we got
Steve Spurrier said he's cool with it. He's cool with Drinkwitz. Said that this week.
there we go, man. Well, that tells you something right there. Well, gonna have Drinkwitz. We're gonna have some drinks.
He wants one of these.
We're gonna have some pours. Have the banquet beer. Okay, everybody, get me my solo cup, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay.
A lot of impressions on the back half of the show. I don't know what to say about that.
All right, let's go. Got
number
negative
four
guys
number 4 in our pick 6. Top 5 Texas A&M team is a 2.5-point favorite on the road against LSU. A win-1 for the Gipper situation for the Bayou Bengals.
for the old Notre Dame coach.
Look at that for the old Notre Dame coach. Look what I did there.
Texas A&M 2.5 at LSU. Again, the crazy line 2.5. Now the home team that was the underdog on this. I think A&M has the better offense. I think LSU's got the better defense, but I think LSU's just offense is just pitiful right now. I mean, they're worse than Clemson. I mean, they're as bad as Clemson, I should say, offensively. They can't figure things out either. A&M does have a very good football coach, a very defensive-minded coach too. Give me the Aggies. I think they'll maybe win by a field goal or touchdown, but give me the Aggies to cover that 2.5.
Will, I'm surprised here. You're going against your golden rule of picking home teams when the spread's less than a touchdown.
I know.
I'm going to stick with your rule because there's a reason that your record is 28-20 and mine is 24-24. So I'm picking LSU in the only Death Valley that has death left in it.
Yes.
Except for Clemson fans' hopes and dreams. That's the only death in Clemson's Death Valley right now.
Clemson doesn't have Death Valley. I won't say it.
Memorial Stadium.
I have not written
Field at Memorial Stadium.
I have not written it in my story yet. I've kept my promise.
All right. Well, I'm picking LSU.
Till they win, till they go to Baton Rouge next year and beat LSU in Baton Rouge to take the claim back. I won't say it. And then if they don't, you'll never see Will Vanderbilt write Death Valley in a Clemson story again, unless I'm talking about LSU. Anyway, go ahead.
What a complete and total reversal of his principles from 2 months ago. But we'll.
Hey, I told you that they got like.
Remember? Do y'all remember when Will said, "It doesn't matter what happens in this football game. Clemson's Death Valley because it was called Death Valley first, and Lonnie McMillan and PC, and I don't care what you say, Ricardo Lecomte and people from Louisiana. You remember all that? Luke LaBourgeois, are you on this chat? I think he stopped listening to us. It's too pitiful now.
Well, LSU sucks too, so he's like, I'm done. Both teams suck.
Yeah. The Battle of Suck next year at Tiger Stadium.
Which team did the transfer portal best next year will be in Baton Rouge, will win the game.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have the Alex Gotch from
LSU
USF as the new LSU head coach.
Yeah, I was about to say LSU will have a new head coach. So
Clemson will have a new coach of other positions that we won't name. All right, next game, number 5. Texas somehow still clinging to the top 25.
And we loving us some SEC today.
That's all the good games this week are in the SEC. Is a 7.5-point favorite at Mississippi State. I'm picking the most cracked out games this week. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Mississippi State's been pretty good this year.
They have been. They've been much improved.
They're much improved at home, and they're at home. I mean, they're much improved and they're at home. That line's 7.5.
I mean, Texas, let's call it what it is. They should have lost to Kentucky last week. I mean,
I know. That's what I'm saying.
And they're still in the top 25 somehow.
Don't want to do this, but
trap games everywhere.
I know. Everywhere. I'm gonna go. You're just trying to get me below. You're trying to get that. I'm 28-20. I'm doing all right. You're trying to take me down.
I'm trying to give you like a nice, 2-4 or something.
I'm gonna go with Mississippi State. That 7.5 is pretty high for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so Mississippi State, let's look back at the calendar year for the Bulldogs. Mississippi State got off to a 4-0 start.
Yes.
They beat a top 25 Arizona State team at home.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the dog out of Alcorn State at home. They beat the tar out of Northern Illinois. I guess I could have said beat the dog out of because they're the Huskies, 38-10. They took Tennessee to overtime at home. What else have they done at home? That was the last time they were at home. Was when they took Tennessee to overtime. I mean, this team is playing really well at home. They have an actual winning football philosophy. It seems like the culture has really turned around. Talk about another team that last year they were horrible. This year they're pretty doggone good because of what they did in the portal. And I don't think Texas's offense can move the ball against anybody. They couldn't move it against
Not consistently.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I agree.
They couldn't move it against Kentucky. So I'm picking Mississippi State. Don't be surprised if the Bulldogs win this straight up.
I thought you were going down this road, then I thought you were going to go not so fast for my friends.
I know I had to mix it up there, but I got Mississippi State in this one as well.
Okay. All right.
We're getting out of the SEC here. We did Group of 5 at the start. We're finishing this thing in the ACC. SMU, who you just saw last week, dominate Clemson on the line of scrimmage, is a 3.5-point favorite at the hostile road environment in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Wake Forest. What do you think they do?
They're only a 3.5-point favorite at Wake Forest?
Yeah, Wake Forest is another team like Mississippi State. Honestly, this is kind of how I feel about them, like the way I feel about Mississippi State. This is a much improved football team.
They are. And they should have beat Georgia Tech.
Yep.
SMU, though, is a good football team. Not that Georgia Tech isn't. I just think SMU is well coached. Rick, right. I think that he does a great job with them. They're a well coached team. You saw that last week. That's why they beat Clemson, because they're just better. They were better coached in that game. Yeah, I'm gonna go SMU to cover. I know, again, another crazy low line, 3.5 points going to the road team, but there'll be nobody in that stadium because SMU didn't bring anybody to Clemson, which stunned me. So I know they're not going to bring anybody to Wake Forest, and then Wake Forest doesn't bring anybody. So that'll be an empty stadium. There's a noon kickoff on Raycom or CW or whatever.
Raycom. Blast from the past. It should be on Raycom.
Yes.
It basically is.
So give me SMU to cover the 3.5.
All right, Will. Here's what I have to say about this.
Are you going to go different on me?
Wake Forest.
Yeah.
This is a much improved football team. They're a lot better on defense.
Yeah, I agree.
They've showed up.
They give up points on defense, but go ahead.
They give up points, but they're still improved of where they were last year.
Yeah, they are.
They gave up, 34 to NC State, 23 to Virginia Tech, 30 to Georgia Tech. They beat the tar out of Oregon State 2 weeks ago. They're coming off of a bye. Kevin Jennings has one leg. How many times can you beat teams with one leg? I don't know. It looked like Clemson. Yeah, it kind of looked like Byron Leftwich. Didn't matter if he had one leg or two. Yep. But not so fast, my friend. I'm picking SMU. That was my not so fast. That was my not so fast. There's no way I could pick Wake Forest to beat anybody. I just can't do it. But then again, I picked Mississippi State. And Indiana's in the top 5 and might play for a national championship this year.
All right,
college football.
Let me give a quick synopsis of what we did here. So we got we both took Memphis plus the 5.5 against UCF at home. I took Ole Miss plus the 4.5 against Oklahoma. You took Oklahoma with the minus 4.5. Let's see. You took Missouri plus the 2.5 at Vandy. I took Vandy. I took Texas A&M minus the 2.5 at LSU. You took LSU. We both took Mississippi State plus a 7.5 against Texas. That game is in Starkville. And then we both took SMU on the road minus the 3.5 at Wake Forest.
Yep.
All right, there we go.
Got a chance again. This is the best chance I've had yet. I got a chance to pick up 3 games this week.
Or you lose 2 of them and you fall back 1 game further. Or you lose all 3 of them and I win all 3 and then you fall back 3 games further. Or I just totally belly up and you get it. You get all of them.
I'm hoping that's the case.
I hope you're wrong.
I hope I picked the right future Florida head coach. That's all I got to say about that.
The Vandy game is what burns us. It burns me every week. So I'm ready to go ahead and mark a loss by Vandy.
Hey, Diego Pavia, he told us, man, he said he got too cocky. God humbled him, and now he's trusting God again. And, God cares a lot about football games and their outcome. So we'll see.
Man, we just got told by Stephen Leslie that he ain't taking any of our bets. That's okay.
Well, it's pick six, man. I mean, you got to take – we're different on 3. I mean, who are you going to take in those games?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You got to take somebody.
I would take the guy who's 28-20.
I'm using the guy that's 28-20 strategy this week, and he isn't. So just saying. But his strategy would also have us pick Wake Forest. So that might be part of your point there, Steve. That might be part of your point.
Might be part of his point. All right, Steve, everybody, appreciate you guys watching this. Alex, always thanks. Thank you guys for out there. So for Alex Dot, I'm Will Vandervoort. We'll talk to you next time on Believe in Clemson Football.